What's up, it's Kit. Time for another video. Alright, so in the previous video, I was wearing orange, so I'm wearing this shirt now. Just so you guys think that it's a different day, but it's not. It's actually the same hour. I have rigged that one particular jig. This one, I've just finished this. So I've been thinking like, hey, since I've done that, which is cool, but I also want to rig one with a single hook, and that's what we're gonna be doing here. Now, this is actually my favorite color, not the pink one, and this is the black and red, and unfortunately I think they have discontinued this. I'm not entirely sure if they actually discontinued this jig altogether, but it's good that at least I still have a few of them, which is great. But these are fantastic jigs, and some situations in Fujairah when the long-tailed tuna get really weird require jigs of this size, and this is perfect because you could use up to 200, but the range that works really well is from 80 to about 150. We've used 60-gram jigs. They've caught fish, but sizes 80 to 150 just works extremely well. I've rigged a 200-gram jig because there are also times when the drift is fast. It's quite swift, and you need something that kind of that's heavy so that you are able to retain a vertical position on the fish. We're putting the split ring on this ahead of time because I don't want to deal with it later on. Again, this is going to be a single hook, and since this is going to be a slow jig configuration, I'm also going to put a swivel on this, and I'm going to use a small swivel because that's all you need. No need for a really big one, and this will make it more erratic, okay, because the swivel, as you can see there, okay, you can't do that. It won't spin, but what it does is make it wobble easier, and that only happens on a new swivel. On an old one, it's not. It's going to act on older swivels with the corrosion inside or salt deposits and stuff like that will basically act like solid rings. Alright, so for this particular one, I'm going to use a custom hook, 6.0 custom hook that I had made for me. Actually, let me check on number 5. No, it's gonna be a 6.0. So you want a hook that is big enough and strong enough because it's going to receive okay, it's gonna receive some pressure. So as you can see here, 6.0, when you size it, okay, put it in the middle, that's a lot of clearance, the gape that it has. So single hook, I'm gonna go with a bigger one, okay, and also we are going to put flash on this. Now, why am I using this instead of this? Okay, these are good hooks. I like the hooks, but I'd rather actually just take the hooks and keep the components, but you know, just to be safe. I mean, they're free, alright? There's no cost for complaints. They're free. That's cool. Thank you very much to Rapala and VMC for giving us free hooks when we buy the jig. Alright, just in case you want to use them out of the packet, that's fine, but I feel more comfortable tying my own assist hooks. So that's what we're gonna do here. The assist cord that we're gonna be using is the Fish Fighters Marine Assist Series. This is the black, 85 pound, and we're gonna be doubling that, so that's more than fine. And this is a number 10. Okay, the black marine cord has a fluorocarbon core. Okay, so it has a fluorocarbon core, and it's stiff. All right, it is stiff, fluorocarbon core. Okay, just take note. So we take that off, and by the way, we'd like to thank Wael for this, because this is his cord. So credit to where credit is due. Thank you, Wael, for a piece of this cord. Okay, now you might think that this is kind of different because we are tying this in a configuration where we're not splicing, and that's totally fine. Okay, so we are going to do this like so, and then we're tying that off. Okay, that's it. Now when you're tying that off, you'll see that once we put it on, it'll be long, so size it accordingly and make sure that you have enough line to use for your cord. Okay, and since this tip here is actually kind of damaged because of the spool, we're just gonna cut off a little bit, and we're gonna be tying with this. Alrighty, now let's tie it with the floss, and this is should I? Yeah, okay. So again, this is from Wael. Thank you for this, Wael. Alright, now I'm gonna be tying a thread base, and this helps me so that the cord doesn't slip. Okay, now remember, this type of binding is not braid, but it takes so well for glue, so it's good to use. Now we bind this so it doesn't move, like so. Okay, make it as clean as you can. And again, I mentioned that this takes glue really well, but before you do the glue, okay, make sure that there's no fuzzy fibers. So you just take a lighter, go like that, and it actually takes care of all the fuzzies. There's some on top here, hardly see it, but quick zap takes care of everything. Now zoom in so you see. Okay, now super glue, and with this just squeeze a bit. You don't need a bit, you don't need a lot. Now the good thing about this this particular thread, essentially it's floss, it's not thread. Okay, so the good thing about this floss is that it takes glue like a champ. So we wrap like so, and we cover, and it immediately absorbs. As you can see, I'm pretty sure you can see it. I'll zoom in more so you can see. Okay, so as you can see, as soon as I wrap, it actually takes and absorbs the glue. All you have to do is just do a good job and make sure that your layers for each and every single wrap, okay, is touching each other, touching turns, as we call it in fly tying, or touching wraps, and you'll do a good clean job. Okay, as you can see there, right there. Let's do one more. And also, this is going in or going on quite tight. Just take note that it's actually going in, they're wrapped tight. Now we can go ahead and do our whip finish. And I don't know if you've noticed, but there's when you're doing this, there's fuzzies. Okay, so again, just take your lighter, light it up like that. Fuzzies will be gone. Okay, now take your bodkin and spread the glue. Okay, so that is going to coat, and just to make sure that everything is coated, take a few drops or a dab of your glue. Okay, you don't have to put a lot all over. What you do is just basically spread the glue that's there, and what's gonna happen is that it is going to get absorbed by the thread, and the absorption on this thread is actually higher. Absorption on this is higher than braid. Okay, and you'd end up with a cleaner. So if you have experience with braid, just tying with braid with this, you actually have a really good result. But if you're tying with this, you'll have an even better result if you don't have that much experience, because of how forgiving it is. Okay, now as you can see also, the wraps here, they're pretty thin. All right, so that's a good thing. Now since I don't have the patience to wait for this to dry, we are going to spray accelerant on this thing. Okay, and then that's the bottom as well, so that the whole thing dries. I have a tissue here for excess, and we are cleaning things up like so. You see that we'll end up with something really clean. Okay, now you might say, but I thought we're gonna put flash, and we are. Okay, but the flash we're gonna put on is not going to be placed at the back, because what I want is for this to be floating. Well, it's gonna be moving with the hook point always in position. Okay, and we'll use the same, pretty much the same crystal flash here. I am going to take some crystal flash. Okay, we're gonna cut a bit here, but before that, let's put on some wraps. Why did I leave the crystal flash till now to put it on and not earlier? Very good question. The thing is, with this, especially since how it's tied and we don't have a lock, I want the cord to be fused and not have a chance of coming loose just because there's flash there. That's the only reason. I don't want it to be disturbed, pretty much. Alright, so we take a few of our crystal flash, not so much, like so. See it here, cut it. Okay, we double it up, like so. Okay, like so. We cut. So this doubled up, like that, we will put just like that. And then we apply. Okay. Okay, and with that, all I have to do is just wrap it like so. And it's pretty much done. Now, the as far as the crystal flash is concerned, it is separate from the uh, the assist hook itself, so it doesn't affect the integrity of the assist hook, and that's one of the main concerns that we have here. Okay, that to make it uniform, we just cut it like that and done. Now take the crystal flash, okay, get rid of the fuzzies like so. Now we bend the crystal flash so that they bend up like that. Okay, and now when we position it like so, we actually put the super glue, and it coats this whole thing. If we position it like this, okay, there's some fuzzies. We position it like this and super glue it, it's gonna stay like that. So hold it on to this, put some glue again. This gets absorbed really fast, so what you do is just put a little bit, spread it around. Alright, so I took off a little bit of the crystal flash. Then we just dry this off, and that's it. Okay, so might be because what I want is to just have a little bit of the crystal flash, so it kind of steers the hook. So our flash, or how the flash is tied, is totally separate from the assist hook, and it should not interfere with the integrity of the hook itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this up. Alright, so looks like that. And what this does, because the flash is up here, is have a drag in the water so that the assist hook is always going to be up in the upright position. All that needs to be done now is to just put a solid ring and install it onto the jig. So let's go ahead and do that. Flash, putting flash on this is entirely up to you. It could be that you don't want the flash, and that's totally fine. It could be that you're fishing deep and flash becomes kind of moot at that point. So up to you whether you want to put flash or not. Now, as for the specific use of this, in my case, okay, we're fishing in let's say really deep water, but the fish are actually holding at, I would say, maximum 80 meters. So at around that depth, flash should still be able to contribute. So the fish starts at around 40 meters or so, and then maximum would be at around 80. When we're fishing in current that's actually kind of strong sometimes, so it can't be helped. You have to use jigs that are a bit heavier, and we found that the range 80 to 150 is quite good. And slow jigs are kind of inefficient because it has multiple hooks, and what happens when you actually catch one, a tuna, it is very difficult to manage them because they they kind of struggle a lot. And if you have more than one hook at that particular instance, it's going to be very difficult because the boat is busy at that time. Either you're moving and chasing after a school, or you're actually fishing and catching some fish. Either way, the boat is going to be very busy. There's people screaming like, go over here, helping the boat or the captain spot the fish. And there are plenty of people dropping down the jigs, hooking up. So it gets busy. And sometimes when it's very busy, people tend to not be aware of what's happening. So having just one hook helps a lot. Okay, so the position of this hook would be like there, right there. Now again, normally you'd have the hook positioned closer, but since this is a small compact jig, when the tuna bites this, they're gonna pretty much swallow it whole. Okay, so it is okay to have the hook past the halfway mark, but normally what you want is for the hook to be just a maximum the halfway point, especially when you're using just two hooks. But since this is again a short and compact hook and you're not able to put hooks on the bottom, this configuration is good. You can get away with it, and there's no place for this to actually snag. So that is it. Now let's go ahead and show you how it looks like. So it's like that. Okay, now when you drop this down, because the drag of the flash, okay, when it falls, it's going to be always in that position, and when the fish grabs and bites it, the hook is always there. Boom, that's it. Alrighty, so that's it for this. If you have questions, go ahead and leave them in the comment section. If you learned something, give this a thumbs up, like this video pretty much. If you're new to the channel and you want to learn more, click on that subscribe button. If you want to have your friends learn with you, click on the share button. And if you have violent reactions, comment below. Fun. It's actually fun answering these guys. Alrighty, so that's all I have for you for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Class is missed.